where the sourcing of the oil is, that kind of thing. So you do have to do your research. You have to do study so that you will know what is good and what isn't. A very good question.
And also, I think we need to understand that other countries may use something that's been very beneficial for their people, but FDA has not allowed it in this country. So there's a lot of politics in that. So we just have to be more informed.
Yeah, but it's a very good question, and I get the question.
This question, I think, is something we need to talk about a little bit about working. How are you able to work in a male-dominated field? Because most women, if you're doing anything, you are working in that field.
Yeah.
There's a couple brothers in here.
Anybody else in here work in a male-dominated field? Yeah. Okay, so I happen to be a black woman. I know y'all noticed. So, and in medicine, and so you'll know, 2% of the physicians in America are African American women. 3% are African American men. So we're talking about, it may be a little bit, but it's less than 6% of doctors in our country are African Americans. So, and the percentage of so you know how, as a black woman, that's a little bitty. So the first thing that I learned was I have to really know my stuff. I have to really know my stuff. I have to know what I know. I have to know what I believe. And I have to be very comfortable in who I am and what I believe. That's number one. Number two, I have learned that women have to protect each other in professional environments.
Yes,
so let me give you an example. Often in a room full of men, and it is a discussion, a woman will offer an idea. One of her male counterparts will take the idea, and now he's on the way to making it his own. One of the things that we do as women is we will say, join in the discussion and say, yes, and as Deborah said, you are right, John. I agree with Deborah. And as Deborah said, that is how we should move forward, so that you are claiming the idea back for Deborah.
Right.
So it can be attributed to her. So we have to support each other in that way. That's the other thing. And then finally, as women, because we don't see power in the same ways that men see power for competition and control, women tend to see power for what we can do to
Empowerment, other people.
Yes, for the greater good.
Yeah.
That many of us find power as it is presented to us as repulsive. And so we won't participate in the power structure because it's like, I don't want to be involved in that. So we have to take what we know. We have to take the power that we have, not morph ourselves into men. So you don't have to be male to be powerful.
Right.
Neither do you have to be a manipulative damsel
Right.
to be in power. So you don't have to be flickering eyelashes and none of that.
Right.
No, it's the truth.
It's
You
true.
see all of
It's
that. You
true.
see the okay,
Right,
girl, sit down.
Right.
Take a whole seat. Do you have something to say if you do say it?
Right.
And you have to be strategic when you speak. So you ought not be giving opinion. You ought to be giving facts. And you give those facts without your emotion. I feel like it doesn't matter what you feel. The fact is, so
Right.
those are some things that I've learned.
That's good. And you can take that anywhere.
You can take it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful and strategic in telling my daughters that.
That's really good.
You're a woman, you are strong. My daughter was teasing me. She said, Mama, you know you're a boss for real. I said, okay, you know everybody talks about boss. She said, Mama, you such a boss. You will be running the room and make the men in the room think they are running.
Right.
That's your daughter.
Yeah.
You know, your daughter's like, yeah, Mommy.
But that's old school.
That's old school.
That's old school.
That's your grandmother
Right.
giving your grandfather the money under the table
Uh-huh.
so that he can pay the bill, so that his manhood is intact.
Right.
But it was
Right.
her extra cleaning money.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
powerful.
And we need to bring that back.
Yeah,
And
powerful.
This is another time for us to meet and talk
Yeah.
about. Okay, what improvement would you like to see in women's health or medicine?
Wow. So, I think in medicine, period, but particularly for women, and I want to tell y'all how to approach a doctor's visit too before we go. I think we really have to focus on not treatment and early detection, but real prevention. Real prevention and real education. I believe that every child ought to know how to take care of themselves.
Right.
There is no reason that everybody needs to know how to cook.
Right.
You may not be a gourmet cook, but you know how to cook.
Basics, yeah.
Cooking is like taking a bath and brushing your teeth.
Right.
We would not grow people up who could not brush their teeth.
Right. And it's not cute when you don't know how to cook. Some
It's
women
really
say,
not.
I
I don't know how to cook, girl, whatever.
Yeah.
But I know that's my go-to. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes,
Well,
we
they
did.
took that out
But they
the school.
took that out. Yes, and that was a very necessary skill because you knew how to cook, you knew how to wash, you knew how to sew, but taking care of yourself is critical. Everybody ought to know basic health things. They ought to know when you get a fever, what to do. So I think educating people so they know when to access the healthcare system, they know how to care for themselves, and then they know what to do when they get in the system.
And we should talk about drinking water, because I have some sisters in here, they don't like to drink water.
So somebody tell me why you don't like to drink water. Just say. You heard rumor? Heard rumor, water don't taste good. Somebody else throw me something out. Not that it's you. It's just somebody you know. What?
She said she wants something with a flavor.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I say drink water, good clean water.
Right.
Because,
Not tap.
yeah, not, unless you don't have any more water. I would
Right.
rather you drink tap water.
If you don't have anything
If
else.
you don't have any more water than to drink, some other chemicals. So preferably, it depends on what the issue So if you're doing a detox, you need distilled water because it doesn't have anything that can grab things better. But if, a mineral water, a spring water, filtered water, any of those, probably the best is a filtered water. I mean, a spring water. I'm sorry. Probably the best is a spring water, because I said about 15 things. That's why I cleared that up. Yeah, but you must drink water. Yes.
Jill, is H3O2 a better form of hydration versus regular H2O2?
Yeah, it depends on when it is and what the issues are. For instance, if you have, like now it's really hot and people are sweating and losing electrolytes, water is not the best rehydration food. Yeah, so it depends on what the circumstance is. So sometimes mineral water is a better.
What do you think about coconut water?
Coconut water is very, very good because it's high in potassium. Yeah, very, very good.
Oh, before we forget, and then you have to tell us
Uh-huh,
what
and
to do.
hold your question.
what to
Somebody
do
over there.
to go to the doctor. We need to talk about, Black people need more minerals. We don't have enough minerals.
Yeah, we do. So that's why mineral water is a good thing. And when you're fasting, so let's say you're doing a water fast, you want to have some minerals to put in that water to fast.
Would you like the liquid?
Liquid minerals.
Liquid.
Mhm.
Everyone hear that? Liquid minerals.
You can get them everywhere. No, liquid IV is a rehydration fluid. It's different.
So you would recommend that?
It depends. So if I recommend liquid IV often for people who have some kind of GI something and they've been throwing up and diarrhea, and then we want to do a liquid IV. Why? Because it has electrolytes, sodium and potassium. Why is sodium and potassium so important? Because it is important for stabilization of the cell membrane.
What about a detox? Do you recommend detox?
It depends. So if you are ill, let's say a lot of people will get a diagnosis, say with cancer or something, and they do a detox. Never do a detox when you are sick. Never do a detox when you are sick. You always build first and then detox. So you got to know. That's why I don't just give, it's a thing. Yes, you're welcome.
Some professions will allow you to do, for example, routines. They say that they can do it in the classroom
Mhm.
because, they have to go family, so that's what they do in their education department. And also I heard about medical professionals like nurses, it would be hard for them to give a lot of water because, of course, I guess it's their patient knowledge. It's hard for them to take that break. So, I know sometimes.
So your number one issue is always to take care of yourself, and particularly if you're a person who's taking care of somebody else. You might not drink water during your work hours, but before and after, you got to hydrate. And so, yes, I mean, if I am going to the mall, I don't drink a bunch of water, or if or if I'm going, because I'm particular about bathrooms. So if I'm going someplace where I know that the bathroom might not be ideal, but because I know that you either go before or after, but very good point, because it still has to be intentional, because water is critical, absolutely critical for you to be healthy. It just is.
So now tell us, what do we need to know when we go see our doctor?
Listen, so I'm going to try to cut this short. So first of all, when approaching a doctor's visit, the first thing before you ever go, you need to know what your insurance covers. Your doctor does not know what your insurance covers. Just because you have Blue Cross Blue Shield and you have Blue Cross Blue Shield, whatever your employer selected is what they cover. I don't know. Number two, you need to know that when you get there, we don't know what your copay is until they tell us. So why are you fussing at the little girl in the window? Because she thought it was you thought it was 25 and she's telling you it's 30. Not her call. It's important to know that. The other thing, when you are scheduling your appointment, the reason they ask you what you are coming in for, not because they want to know your business, but they are trying to maximize and optimize the scheduling of the appointment. So while you are fussing with her about how you don't want to tell your business, she don't care. No, she really doesn't. So know those things before you go in. The other thing is know that, let's say you have a primary care doc and they see 30 patients a day, okay? So they have 8 hours. Let's say they have 10 hours to see 30 patients. How many minutes is that? That's 3 patients an hour. 20 minutes max. Takes you, well, what else they gonna do? It takes you 5 minutes to get your stuff and get out of the waiting room and tell your friend bye and get off the phone. That's the first 5. Then you got to get to the scale and strip. Am I telling you the truth? And get in there where you going. That's 10 of your 20 minutes. Now you got that list that you have saved.
Hopefully you have a list.
Okay, so when you go to the doctor, recognize they got 20 minutes, unless you have opted to do something different, like concierge medicine, where you have an hour. You got 20 minutes. Do not save all of your stuff for one visit. If you give them 15 things, none of them will be addressed. No, yes. Please don't even do about the top two. Okay? Have your information succinct. When did it start? Oh, a while ago. What does that mean? When did it start? It started 3 months ago. Do you know of anything? Well, I lifted so-and-so, and then I noticed, and it's got progressively worse. I have tried this, and this, and it didn't work. Y'all understand? Because you are trying to facilitate them being able to take care of you. A wellness exam, so that you know, is not an exam to take care of all of your health issues. It is a preventative visit. A Medicare wellness exam does not even include a physical exam. A Medicare wellness exam is to find out, do you have some rugs in the hallway? Can you draw that clock? Can you remember them 3 things they give you? Have you done your living will? That's what Medicare wellness is. So when they are, and it does not cover a pap smear, it doesn't cover anything, so you have to know that. A general wellness exam is just that, a wellness exam. They are screening. They are asking you about your immunizations. No, they cannot address your knee pain. Isn't that good to know? So now when you get there, you know what's going on and what to anticipate, so you are not mad because they did not do anything. Okay? I just think that's good.
No, that's
To
good.
know.
That's very good. Very good. I think we've been asking and answering questions all along, but do we have, okay, she has a question. Do we have the questions on a card, or? Oh, okay. So you want to go ahead and ask your question?
I will. I have a statement and.
Because thank you for the questions. She hoped
I
my
have a
question.
statement and a question. First, let me say thank you for all that you do for our community. You have been part of my tribe. You don't know that. But my daughter came to you at the age of 14.
Wow.
She's now 27.
Wow.
Took care of her for 12 years.
Wow.
2 years ago.
Wow.
Thank you for the care, because you are that mama, that second voice. Now, we're not going to do this. Thank you. for that. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Because
Yeah.
you know, she's a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you for being that second voice
Wow.
in her ear, telling her, no, yes, we're gonna do this. This isn't necessary. You're okay.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. No,
Yeah.
we don't. And we even told her, you don't need to come see me.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And so my question is,
Mhm.
are you mentoring other doctors with your bedside mannerisms and your realism that you provide to so many families? Are you in the practice of mentoring others? And I have questions. I'll take any more.
I'm really trying to. One of my patients, who happens to be a dentist, and she's like, are you going to retire? And she's, thinking about retiring. And she's like, you are trying to find you, and then she said, and we say there are not many. She said there never were many.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So there never were a lot of doctors who were compassionate, is
Right.
the word that I'll use. So yeah, I'm trying. I think it's important, because somebody gonna have to take care of me.
Right.
That's why I got to stay well. But that's important. We're trying to explain to people, to young doctors, that people are humans.
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Jill, I hope you don't mind me asking you this, but you told me something that I did not know, and I think our people need to know. We really love and care for our nurses, but please tell them what they're trying to do.
Yeah, we don't, so, 2%, I just told you that, and there are very few doctors, and not a lot African American are coming out, because our young people who are interested in medicine are being rerouted. So we are fighting to get people to want to be doctors, and then they get to college and somebody tells them they don't have the aptitude. So they are being rerouted to nursing, rerouted to physical therapy, rerouted. Those are noble professions. But we need some doctors. So if you know a young person, and I tell them all the time, when you get there, they're going to tell you you should consider something else because you don't have the aptitude for it. But you say, yes, ma'am, thank you, and go ahead and apply to Morehouse.
We have 30 minutes. We have 30 minutes left.
Okay.
Thanks, great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, let me start reading these. What basic nutritious food items do you recommend everyone have in the refrigerator or pantry? And they're trying to lose weight, like everybody else, but having trouble.
Okay, so let me tell y'all, weight loss is a real interesting thing. I've been on that journey myself. Lord have mercy. It is a journey. And I have
Thank you.
recently, through a program that I was invited, that one of my patients actually invited me to join, got a different relationship with food. The first thing you need to know is weight is not about food. It's about the rest of this. It is about the rest of this. It is about what you get exposed to. It is about the trauma.
Right.
It is about your mother who's an alcoholic. It is about your uncle who touched you and he shouldn't have. It is about you being a black girl in America. It is about, or a black man who's under constant surveillance. It's about a bunch of stuff. So the first thing is take all of the guilt away. That's number one. Number two, start to nourish your body. How do you nourish your body? When you sit down, don't try to eat, enough to last till Jesus come back. Because if he come back, you ain't gonna need no food. And if he don't, there will be another opportunity. So, and do these three things. When you sit down, have some good healthy fat, have a good protein source, and have good complex healthy carbohydrates at every meal. That balances it. That's number one. Number two, make your meals plant strong. You can be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, Lordamarian. You can be whatever you want to be. But because I have been it all. But when you do those things, it's real important. What kind of things should you have in your refrigerator? You always ought to have some vegetables. Have a little bit of fruit. Think of fruit as God's dessert. I have to say this to my patients because they make that fruit smoothie in the morning. Would you eat cake for breakfast? Yes, you would, but not every day.
Right.
So dessert is God's, fruit is God's dessert. Eat it in that way. It's real important. So you ought to have some good protein source. It can be from plant protein, but it also can be from clean animal sources, if that's what you choose to do. Does that answer that question? You're welcome.
Great. Hair relaxers and their relationship to breast cancer and fibroids. Your opinion.
Big. We've known that for years, and it just came out. We've known that for years. There also is a connection between permanent hair color and bladder cancer. We've known it for years. We have absolutely known it for years. So be strategic with what you do. You can use some of the natural hair colors, hennas, that kind of stuff. Try to do natural straightener if you want straightener. If not, do other things with your hair, but be aware of it. Because it's a risk. We've known it for at least a decade, if not longer.
At least.
At least.
Well, how do you feel about doctors giving second opinions or getting second opinions?
Oh, I think you should all, if it is a major health thing, get another opinion. And if you have a doctor who's insulted by a second opinion or questions, find another doctor.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to do, though. It's hard to find primary care docs.
Does magnesium have any impact on low metabolism, like hypothyroid? And what happened to, ask Dr. Jill, or will you return?
Oh, in what way?
A radio? Was it podcast or was it radio?
I do some. I'm gonna do some more. Girl, is you fussing? So those of you who don't know, I used to do, during the pandemic, I did Ask Dr. Jill all the time because I was scared. I was scared. Not scared, but scared. And so as I found out information, I wanted to share with you all. And there's something that I think I ought to talk about, I do. I'm really going to start talking about doing some Ask Dr. Jill segments on sugar. We have to
Right.
have this conversation about sugar.
Right.
We just do. It is killing us, and
Right.
all of the processed foods are laced with sugar. They are laced with sugar and chemicals to stimulate the addiction pathways. And so, no, you cannot eat just one.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
What was the
Okay,
first part of that?
first part-
Magnesium.
Yeah,
Magnesium is important for muscle relaxation is the biggest thing. So if you have high blood pressure, you ought to take, not medical advice, you should consider taking magnesium because it helps to relax those blood vessels, people who have cramps, those kinds of things.
And also,
Magnesium
for
works.
me, it helps me to sleep better.
It does,
Yes.
because it's relaxing.
Right.
It relaxes
Right.
muscles. It also relaxes you systemically.
Yes, yes. Epsom salt.
Epsom salt is magnesium.
Yes, yes.
No,
Well, I
No.
think this question you already
sodium
answered.
chloride.
You already answered, should meat be taken out of our diet? I think what type of meat it is it chemically based? I mean, all
Like
of
I
those
said,
things.
what you, it's not so much what the food is, it's what's been done to the food.
Right.
For instance, somebody at the barbershop, Lord have mercy, gave my husband a big old thing of ground meat. So he comes, he's getting that out of the back of his truck. And I was thinking, what are we gonna do with that? It's pink, so I know it's got pink slime in it. We don't really eat that anyway. But I was thinking, how am I gonna get that big old thing and throw it in which trash can? Not eating it. So be strategic about what you eat. If you are going to, it needs to be grass-fed and grass-finished. It needs to be organic. So I will tell you, you will control, if you're going to eat meat and it's high-quality meat, you're not gonna eat that much of it.
Right.
Because you can't afford it. Because that grass-fed, grass-finished steak is $20 a pound. Or close to it. So you're not going to eat very much of that. What? That's Valentine's Day.
Here is a very good question. Is there a natural decline in kidney function as we age besides having hypertension or type 1 or type 2 diabetes?
That's so big because in our community, we don't have grocery stores, but we got dialysis centers on every
Everywhere.
corner.
And you can't find them in North Dallas.
You know why?
I don't have it.
Listen to me. I'm trying not to preach.
No, preach.
It is your responsibility to be well. It's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Do not drink Cokes every day. Do not eat processed foods every day. Don't feed it to your kids.
Right.
Don't feed it to your grandkids. I have these conversations. Why am I about to tear up? I have these conversations all the time. I am saying to some mother or grandmother, you've got to eat better. Your kidneys are failing. And she will say to me, well, I got the grandkids. And so I got to eat what they, I eat what they eat. No, they should eat what you eat. So you got kidneys failing at 50, they will have them failing at 30.
Right. It's right. You are so right.
Yeah.
It does make you sad.
It makes you
You can see what's going to
absolutely-
happen.
Because we are watching it happen, and again, we think it is normal. Just stop it. Your children don't have cars. They don't have money. They don't have rights. They're kids. This is a dictatorship.
Right. It's supposed to be.
You either eat what we have
Right.
or pray about it. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Next one. What do we do when it comes to individuals who are on, I guess, dialysis, and should your diet consist of because of the two illnesses?
It says, what do you do when it comes to individuals who are on dialysis and a diabetic? What should your diet consist of because of the two illnesses? Vegetables. If I were diabetic, I wouldn't eat any grains. I would do vegetables. Probably if I was on dialysis, I wouldn't eat any meat because of the creatinine. I would drink nothing but water. I would eat no processed foods, trying to heal my body. So it needs to be a good, healthy diet. It just, I don't even understand how, I don't understand why people don't understand that if you're diabetic, why are you eating sugar? It just doesn't even compute to me. Does that make sense to y'all? It doesn't compute to me, so I have a hard time articulating it. Because it's like, what's the question? I don't understand. I don't understand why we don't understand. I don't understand why we keep burying each other. I don't understand why we don't understand. So we got to understand. Because we bright people. There are people who would assume that we don't understand because we stupid. No, we're not. We got good sense. We use it selectively.
Right. What we need is more wisdom, right?
Wisdom.
Yeah, we need more wisdom.
Wisdom.
Like this dear sister wants to know if the water out of the faucet is dead, is adding lemons to it, does it enliven the water?
No, not really. I mean, it's better than nothing. Lemon water, though, is good. So if you're diabetic, you should drink lemon water. You also should do vinegar. The reason you should do lemon water is because, and you should do it before and after meals, because the acidity, there's something called amylase, which is the enzyme that breaks down sugar. The acidity disengages it. It renders it so you're not able to break the sugars down effectively. Also, lemon is good for detoxing. It doesn't clean the water, but
right, it's good for your body.
But it does add to
Yes.
its cleansing ability.
Yeah. So tell us, what's your go-to for? Now, are you a seasonal fruit person? Do you like to eat in season? Like, what's your go-to?
I do. I don't do a lot of fruit, but when I do more berries. Now, I'm telling you the ones I love. I love melons, I love mango, I love pineapple, I love banana. I don't eat those often because they have so much sugar. I eat berries. I eat oranges. They're sweet, but they got a lot of fiber.
Right.
apples.
And bioflavonoids.
Yes,
is good.
oh yeah, all kinds of excellent things.
Bioflavonoids.
Bioflavonoids.
Would you tell them what that is?
Those a phytochemical that helps your body to repair itself. Phyto means plant, so a plant chemical. Also, oranges have, I can't remember the name of the phytochemical, but in their skin, so you know the white stuff underneath the skin enhances wound healing. So if you have a wound that you're trying to heal, you got a diabetic ulcer or something like that, you want to take that peel and run your teeth, you know how you did when you were a kid? Run your teeth, that helps wounds to heal. Those are the big ones that I do.
Your favorite vegetables?
Ooh, girl. I like greens. I like Brussels sprouts. I like asparagus. I eat all vegetables. When I was a kid, I did not eat meat. And they made me. Because in the 60s, they thought you'd die. You know, I remember they would withhold my vegetables and make me eat fish sticks. But yeah, so I love vegetables. I like cabbage. Y'all know that was the meat of for children. It was the fish sticks and drumsticks. I still need counseling about that. But let me see what else. I like good food. I'm a food snob. I think we all should be food snobs.
Yes.
I do not eat just because food is present.
Yes.
I'm not eating
Yes.
that.
It has to be clean.
It has to be clean. It has to be tasty. Hey.
Oh.
How are you? Thank you so. Can I have a hug?
Oh, how sweet.
Thank you so much. Y'all pray for me that I get grandbabies. Okay, anyway. I want some grandbabies. Could you address dental caries?
That's important.
Do y'all know that if you don't eat sugar, you don't get dental caries? If you don't eat sugar, you don't get cavities. No, really. They have looked at, back in history, anthropologists have looked, and people who did not even have toothbrushes, they were not invented, had no dental caries because they didn't consume sugar. So we now know that sugar changes the organisms that are in your mouth, and you do not get dental caries if you do not consume sugar. So that's number one. Number two, though, you have to make sure that your gums and teeth are healthy because it increases the risk, particularly of cardiovascular disease.
And diabetes too.
Well, diabetes actually causes it. So there's a cause relationship. But yeah, very important.
And a lot of times we don't really take care of our teeth.
No, you need to floss. Do y'all floss? Floss, floss, floss. Every day. Floss, 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 floss.
My godmother
Teach your
flossed
children to floss.
every day. When she passed at 98, she had all her teeth.
Yeah.
And they were good teeth.
Yeah. See, when I was a kid, I was a candy eating somebody. I loved it. I was raised by my grandparents, and they didn't know any better. They just got me what I wanted. Yes, yes, and yes. Hold you. Yes. Yeah. No. Sugar is not in everything. So what do you mean when you say sugar's in everything? If you are reading a label,
It's processed.
if you are reading a label, you are eating the wrong thing. No. They only start packaging food we have lived for no. That's part of our conditioning, is that we think that if it doesn't come out of a package, just oranges have no label on them. Broccoli has no label on it. And so let me just interject something. I know that people are busy, but we've got to think about meals differently. So a meal for those of us, it's not 3 vegetables and a meal is some protein, a vegetable, and some healthy fat. So you're probably gonna saute that vegetable in some fat and protein. That's a meal. Broccoli and a chicken breast is meal. So you have to think about what a meal is differently. Because no, who has 3-4 hours to cook every day? Yeah, a salad and some vinegar and oil dressing is a meal. Yeah, so no, you are correct. And that's what I said when I said processed foods have sugar in. They all do. That's why you cannot eat processed food. You can eat whatever you choose to eat, but if you want to be well, you have to be aware of that.
But I'm just surprised like bread.
Absolutely. Ketchup got sugar in it. And mustard, everything has sugar in it. But that is strategic because there are scientists who their whole job is to maximize
cook.
flavor so that you will buy more. It's not that they wanted us to be ill. It was an economic thing. It's cheap and addictive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
right.
I understand what you're saying. It's in everything.
Yes, and then
Yes.
I would,
There's a card in front of your bottle.
oh. Is water out of, no? Is it alkaline?
No.
Oh. How are you just people? No? What is the question?
I was saying, could you please speak on several people, and this is a mindset that we have, is that we cannot afford
Oh my
to
gosh.
buy the foods
Oh my gosh.
that are healthier.
Yeah, that's really,
because they're too expensive.
yeah, that's really big.
Can you
And so
speak on
I
how
really
if
can.
we don't,
Yeah.
it's gonna be more
But-
expensive
but it-
down the road.
But it's really not expensive to eat healthy. It's really not. So my daughter was teasing me the other day because maybe a couple of years ago I was doing this thing. I was feeding my family of 6 for $50 a week. Now we were eating all vegetables. During COVID, when there was nothing in the grocery
Right.
store, yes there was, because we didn't have any problems finding our vegetables and stuff. They were never out of vegetables. Now they didn't have no sausage and bacon.
Right, right.
But we wasn't buying that. So it depends on what you're buying. Yes, it's expensive to eat steak, but it's not expensive to eat greens and beans and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So it is
exactly.
not.
We're going to squeeze in a couple things real quick. First of all, I have, all of you are wonderful here. I have a couple people here I wanted to point out. I have Dr. Linda Amerson, who's a hair doctor. It's a longer name for it, but this is Dr. Linda Amerson. If you have problems with your scalp and all of that, she's really good. And then I have my personal trainer, Ava Combs. She's wonderful, certified in so many areas. And I exercise in the evening because she's with me, and that keeps me consistent.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
So I
whatever you can do it.
appreciate both of these ladies coming. Okay, what is your opinion of the program All of Us and the research results?
I don't know all of us.
You
What
know,
is
when they
all
were
of us?
doing all of the, who asked this question?
I did.
Tell me
Okay,
all
yes,
of us.
yes.
What's the question?
It's all of us. A research. All of us.
The realization that medications, prescriptions that we receive are all related to middle-aged white men,
The research.
the research.
Yes.
And All of Us is a program, and we've had here at church, received information here, that encourages us to
I got it. I know what you're talking about. To participate in studies. Yes, there's been a push to get us to participate in studies because, black people don't be trusted.
No, right, right.
That's why we weren't gonna take that. It's like, I don't know. You gonna take that vaccine? I ain't doing it. We have to gather and decide. So, and we don't like to do studies. We don't want people to know our business. But we have, if we are going to get information on people of African descent, then we have to participate in the studies. I mean, there's just no way for us not to. But yeah, I mean, I agree. All of the studies are done on white men. Yeah.
But then
Most of them.
the integrity, though, how they take some of our stuff, and I mean, we have a long history.
We do.
That's another conversation.
Yeah, and you know, they didn't allow us to go in Neiman's either, but we go. They didn't. But we are in there now. So, I mean, we have forgiven some things and others we have not. It's selective. I don't go in Neiman's because they wouldn't let me in there when I was, okay, anyway. Some more counseling. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. I know. I know. Yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. So it one of the things. So if you always think about that, a plant, a healthy fat, and a protein. So lunch examples. You can even do a boiled egg for lunch. If your kid likes boiled egg, you can do boiled egg. You can do a healthy cheese, not a cheese string. Yeah, a real healthy, you know, organic cheese, and you can do some vegetables, you know, cut up vegetables, any of that. You can do some fruit, you can do some avocado, you can do a piece of chicken breast that's cut up, sliced real thin. You can do whatever was left over from dinner. You can do some broccoli. You know, so if you had broccoli last night, you can do some broccoli with some kind of sauce for them to dip in. And what you do with kids is you let them help you. So you teach them to make stuff. So my office manager / everything, other part of my brain, is really good about what she feeds her daughter. I mean, those lunches, it's like, oh my gosh. And she has to give her extra because her friends do stuff.
Right.
So for instance, when I go shopping, if I find something like dragon fruit or, you know, something that's exotic and different, I will bring her some to give to her baby too. So you try to think about things like that. Kiwi, they've got kiwi grapes. Have you seen the little kiwis? So those kids love that kind of stuff. So just be creative with that.
You know, one of the things that we used to have in my day, a thermos.
Yeah.
So I used to take vegetable soup.
Yeah.
And so when Albany was in school, I would put greens in a little thermos, but now you have to find the thermos.
Right, because you can't find that.
And so they would eat that.
And then they have to keep up with it to bring it back home.
Yeah.
You will be buying thermoses. Yes. Somebody else had, oh, yes.
I think it's our last question. We're wrapping up.
Okay, thank you so much for taking my question. Okay, so what is the difference between a multivitamin and whole food multivitamin in a regular vitamin? What's the difference between those two?
So vitamins that are extracts from whole food are just that. It's a whole food that they've either dehydrated or something like that. A vitamin that is a multivitamin is usually a synthetic. So that means that they just put vitamin A in it. They don't put a food that contains vitamin A. You don't understand?
No.
Yeah. So
Where
you,
do I get the whole, that's what I'm looking at this list. It said, whole food multivitamin. What, I mean,
Juice Plus is a good one.
I'm sorry,
Juice
juice
Plus. Juice Plus. I'm not a Juice Plus person, but they've done, it's a whole food supplement that has vitamins and minerals in it.
A new chapter.
New Chapter.
New chapter.
And they have, and there are, on those, they've done lots of research. I mean, lots of research, usually with medical students.
Yeah, a new chapter, because you don't have to have food to take it, and so.
Yeah.
Helps. I think.
But you should take vitamins with food.
Yes.
Always.
We are, really our last one? I believe so. Yes, it is, because the last one is on YouTube, yes. And we also have some people online. We appreciate you watching online, and please spread the word. We'll have this again. So I hope you got something from it, so thanks for joining us. Thank you so much.
Do you ever ask them what they want to hear about? Is there a committee?
Yes, we have had questionnaires that have gone out to our members, what you would like to know. So if you would like to give us more information, we have our Deacon Pearlie Wallace and Sister Verna Mitchell. Don't mess with Sister Mitchell. She was in the Army, I think.
I think that we really should have.
We should have, please
We
see
should
them.
talk about how to control and reverse your diabetes.
Okay. So, but I'm saying, if you have something else you would like to hear more about, please see these wonderful women, and they'll take note. Is that all right, if they can see you? Okay, thank you. But thank you so much, Dr. Jill. You're phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. You're a sister,
Thank you.
and we appreciate you. This is her second time. She's committed to one more, and then we're going to ask her again.
I'd do another. Thank y'all so much. Absolutely.